So I'm curious since we last spoke, because I know we talked, I don't remember what day that was. I didn't write it down, but I wanted to check in and see where are things now and what you've been noticing since then.
Well, I had a work thing come up where I couldn't go to that fertility doctor appointment.
Yep.
Part of me was relieved because, like I hadn't submitted any of those tests and paperwork and I
Yeah.
didn't know how to approach it anyway, and then since then I've talked to Kat
Mm-hmm.
and she gave me some good advice or insight. She said, explore letting it go, write about letting it go. Now, I have not written about letting it go, but the whole idea of just putting the baby thing to the side, trying to make this life altering decision with a fertility clinic, like just to let it fucking go.
Yeah.
So, and I got this book. I mean, it's called Maybe Baby.
Okay.
So it's a bunch of essays from women on who decided not to have a baby, who were torn about having a baby, or decided to have it. So maybe that'll give me some insight.
Yeah. So what did you notice after like you had that conversation with Kat and kind of setting that decision to the side, which I know we talked about too. What have you noticed?
Um, I just feel a little lighter. It's like not as heavy.
Yeah.
But the thought still does cross my mind, having a baby and all that. But,
Right.
I don't know how much of myself I'm trying to like talk myself out of it. I'm already 47. I'll be 48 in 2 months. So, I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of women my age already have grown children. It's just like, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, I think I feel a little less anxious, maybe
Okay.
letting it go for now.
Right. Okay. And then maybe that book will give you some sort of revelation of what is for you.
Hmm.
So there's a little more lightness now and less anxiety now.
Hmm.
So is has I guess what's been working well since our time together for you?
Um, I guess taking time out for the Muse method.
Okay.
Um, Kind of asking myself some of those questions you pose. Um, so
What have you been noticing in that time for the Muse method of connecting and then even asking questions? What's been showing up since, if anything?
I don't know what's showing up. I
Okay.
had a really bad headache coming from my neck all weekend, so I went back to the chiropractor today.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's showing up. I don't know if I've been aware enough to notice anything.
Okay. That's why I asked. I was just curious if, but in taking time out for yourself doing the Muse method, has anything like shown up in your world, or have you noticed more peace, or have you noticed something different? And if no, it's okay.
Well, I noticed the hummingbirds coming up to my little hummingbird feeder. I that brings me a lot of joy when a hummingbird comes up.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful that you've been able to see that because they're
Yeah,
fast.
because they're so quick, you gotta like just watch them when they're here. You go to grab your camera and they're gone. So
Right. Okay. So a little bit more present then is what I'm hearing. Is that true?
yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that has not been working for you?
Um, some of the anxiety and that comes from irrational thoughts. Um,
Hmm.
and like trying to be funny slash speaking about my insecurities to my boyfriend that like uh
Uh,
it doesn't work out so well for me, like I'd be like, oh, all those women at Serenity House, that's, I think I told you about that, that's like an Alano club close to my house.
yeah,
Yeah, and part of me thinks it's kind of meat market-ish, because you get a lot of newcomer people and a lot of different type of people. So I
right.
said something to my boyfriend, like, oh, they were lining up because he gave a lead there the other night. Oh, they're lining up to give you a blow job after you gave a lead. I mean, it was kind of crass, and but he said later that that was hurtful to him, and you know,
Mm.
these insecurities, they come out like, and I always think, oh, if I don't say anything, I'm going to explode. But I've got, restraint. I have to restrain what I'm saying sometimes.
Yeah. So what would happen if you let yourself explode when the insecurity arises?
Well, then I say stupid shit like that because it gets me in trouble.
Okay, so that's what happens when you explode. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say something. At least, you know, I skirted my way around it and I said, well, I wasn't saying anything negative about you, Ed. I was saying something negative about the women at the Alano Club. But, you know,
Yeah. So is the joke like a way to kind of placate the insecurity to make it's like you're not insecure to make it as a joke, but
correct.
it's still coming through as like that as insecurity or something else.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you didn't, it's okay. There's no wrong answer always. Did you notice what happened before the insecurity arose in you? Like before you wanted to say that joke?
Well, we were walking at the dog park.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't remember if there was a woman there or not, but there was a woman. One of the days that we were walking, there was a woman there, with the tight top and tight leggings. She was pushing a baby stroller
Right.
and was exposing herself, you know. And I was convinced he was looking at her ass. And instead of saying, oh, I think are you looking at her ass? Which I didn't, thank God, you know. So
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of that.
Okay. So it's just like when you see it outside of you, it kind of just brings that up inside.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. It's good information. And even the exploding part is like, to me, it's like it's like a pressure cooker. Like you're like a pressure cooker and it's just like you're exploding because like the pressure's just like all inside and we didn't slowly release the valve. So now it just exploded.
Hmm.
As opposed to like slowly meeting yourself to meet that insecurity part. Because there's nothing Ed is going to do that's ever going to make you more secure. Do you agree?
Well,
Well, it can
I
help.
look at him to see if he's looking at the other woman. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
If he's not looking, then that's
Yeah.
good. But I was convinced he was looking. So,
So it's almost like second nature where you see somebody attractive, tight clothes, whatever the situation may be, and then you look to see if he's looking.
mhm,
Okay. So it's almost like you're like saying he's going to look. Like your mind is focused on he's going to look as opposed to, hey, we're just enjoying our walk together and he loves me.
right.
Right. And it's just information. It isn't bad. But I also keep hearing it's not supporting you anymore. It's not working well.
Mm-mm. So my therapist tells me that I should not say these things and I should leave them for when I talk to him. You know what I mean? Instead of blurting them out.
And has that been working?
I have been able to practice restraint of tongue to a
Oh,
certain extent, to a certain
okay.
extent. So
So then it's part of it's working right now.
part of it is, yeah,
Yeah. But it could be better, it sounds like.
right.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if that explosion is like your body's way of saying, like reminding you also that you matter. Because like in that moment, what I'm hearing, and tell me where I'm wrong, is like you forget all about Bonnie, all about what you bring to the world, and all your focus goes outside of you, of this other person that might be more attractive or whatever you perceive, even though I don't know if that's true.
Right.
So it's almost like that explosion, that energy is like, hey, you're here too. Like you matter too. So what if it's not even about Ed? What if it's about you returning back home to you to breathe new life into Bonnie when this
Hmm.
show, as opposed to trying to douse like the fire of like that he's going to be liking this other person or attracted to this other person.
Or waiting for some type of a um, recognition or something that I'm beautiful. I'm his only one.
Right. Would you be willing to give that to yourself in that moment? Because you're looking for that external recognition. Would you be willing to give that to yourself?
Yeah, but how do you do that? I mean,
So so the insecurity arose in you when you guys were out at the walk. Maybe something you noticed in you, but you didn't this time, and that's okay. But what if that's an invitation for you to come back home? You can do the Muse method or not, but just be like, I'm beautiful and I'm here walking with that. Like, or something you believe to be true.
right.
So I want it to be something that you actually believe, of you speaking that into existence, as opposed to like the joke that's just kind of not really even masking the insecurity that's here.
Hmm.
How might that be to try that on?
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice.
And I'm not saying you're going to be perfect at it, but would you be willing to start practicing when you notice the insecurity is arising to meet yourself in whatever it is you want to hear to be supported well? Like what would you love to hear from Ed?
I love you. You're my one and only, or you're sexy. You know.
Mm. So I love you, you're my one and only, you're sexy.
Hmm.
So even if you said even just the first part, if you don't fully believe all of it, but if you could say all of it, even better, like, I love you. You are my one and only. Because at the end of the day, you are the one that you're always going to have. Ed is not a guarantee because we know something could happen to any of us at tomorrow. So what might that be like for you to start to fill yourself with that, as opposed to more insecurity of looking to Ed to see if he's looking at this other person? Like it's a practice of you coming back home to Bonnie
Hmm.
and filling up with more of Bonnie saying, I love you. You are my one and only.
Hmm.
Whether it's out loud or not, that doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Does that resonate at all?
Yeah, that would, I mean, to be able to remember to do that in the moment when I'm anxious would be good.
So you do notice that there's some anxiousness, the anxiety that's there.
Hmm.
Okay. So would you be willing, and we've been working with this, would you be willing to meet that anxiousness in a different way?
Yes.
Because anxiousness, if you're open to it, is an air emotion. So it's here to help you to breathe new life into you. Whereas if you keep the focus on the insecurity and doubting of yourself, is that expanding and breathing new life into Bonnie?
Mm.
Is that, what is that doing then? Is it taking life from you?
It pushes Ed away and it makes me feel more shitty about myself.
Is that what you want? Pushing it away and feeling shitty about yourself?
Mm.
Okay. So what would you rather have instead? Rather than pushing it away and feeling shitty about yourself,
I'd
what
like
would
to feel confident and at ease.
hmm. And you said just a moment
I don't
ago
want to
that,
be threatened by every woman that fucking has tight pants on or a tight top. I don't want to feel threatened like that.
right. Well, and if let's be real, as you get older, that might get louder because your body's aging. Like it's inevitable.
Right.
So would you be willing to start having your own back and giving yourself what you desire? You said you desired for Ed to say, I love you. You're my one and only. You're sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing to, when the anxiety starts to show up, giving yourself that, giving yourself more confidence and ease?
Mm-hmm.
And that could be just doing the Muse method. You don't have to say anything because by you connecting to yourself, you're reminding yourself that you matter and you're coming back home to you.
Mm-hmm.
So what if we practice that now and see what changes since that was
Okay.
so okay. So we'll do it together. When you're ready, we're going to close our eyes. Yeah, write down anything you need to
Hold
first.
on. Here. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we're going to close our eyes. We're going to follow our breath. We're going to move and plug our hands into our bodies as if we're plugging into our very best friend. And now, Bonnie, as you're plugging in and connecting to yourself, expand as far as feels safe. You are connecting deeply to yourself, being with whatever's here without making it wrong. And now call in as you're connecting and expanding, call in all the support that you need in this space. And just let your breath carry the curiosity with it. And if the mind shows up, just give it the task of noticing what shows up in your body. Just keep asking, well, what are you noticing? What are you noticing? Because your mind's going to keep thinking those thoughts. And let's go ahead and begin. And invite in just 2 or 3 more breaths. And as you feel your hands connecting, just kind of taking in just this memory of what it feels like to connect to yourself, remembering that you matter. When you're ready, just keep coming back.
I don't know if I'm doing the Muse method the right way. Am I supposed to ask myself questions before I go close my eyes or?
You can, or you just do the Muse method. I don't always ask myself questions. Sometimes I'll ask the question after I do the Muse method and do it maybe for 10 more seconds, 30 more seconds again. But you can just do the Muse method on its own without asking any questions, just holding that intention of connecting and expanding, connecting to Bonnie, expanding into more of Bonnie
Hmm.
so that you take up more space than the anxiety, more space than the insecurity, more space than all these other things that are taking up space
Hold
inside
on,
it.
I'm gonna move. That chair is so uncomfortable.
Okay.
I think I have to turn on my air conditioning. I'm really hot.
I know, I was thinking that myself. It's getting warm.
Oh, okay.
So what is there other questions you have around the Muse method? Because you said that.
I mean, besides just closing my eyes and putting my hands on my body, I just think I'm connecting with my inner self, but I don't know, am I supposed to ask a question, like, because last time, one of the previous times you said, like, what decision is best for everyone involved, It's like, am I supposed to still be asking that or?
I would invite you to ask it when you need to ask it.
Mhm.
So I will ask questions when I need to get some clarity, but I'll do the Muse method as often as I need to connect and expand. And I'll tell you, when I'm in a harder place, like emotionally, I'm in anxiety, I'm in overwhelm, it's harder to feel the benefits of connecting with my muse, my unique self-expression, because I'm in a bad place. So I'm minimizing everything I'm experiencing, even if it's just I feel a little bit more peaceful. I don't acknowledge that because I'm like, it's not that big a deal. But it is, because I'm taking time to not continue to feed the overwhelm and anxiety, to expand into more of what it is that I want, which is peace,
Mm-hmm.
just being present. So that's why it's not like everything changes when you're doing the muse method, but what changes is you're coming from a place of being deeply centered in self. And now everything else changes because you are present and confident in who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're empowered to choose what's for Bonnie,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that whatever you choose is going to bless everybody involved, including you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So always bring any questions you have. And I think a lot of times from talking to others and even just my own practice, it seems too simple. It
Mm-hmm.
can't be that simple. But to me, I think of Jesus and I think he probably would have had something very similar, a practice to come back home to himself because he was deeply centered in self. He always knew what he was to do. He always stopped, he prayed, he meditated, he did what he had to do so he could stay centered in self.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's getting back to those simpler practices because you're seeing I think you're experiencing that your mind is like Velcro to the negativity. You keep seeing that. And it's like Teflon to the positivity. The positivity just keeps falling away.
Mm-hmm.
But by you continuing to connect, you're creating more space for what it is you actually desire because now you're centered in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it just naturally will start to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it feels painful, because sometimes we have to let go of things for what we actually want to come.
Mm-hmm.
So is there something specific you wanted to work on together in our time today?
Mm. Maybe the whole fact of letting the whole baby thing go.
Mm,
If that's the right path I'm supposed to take, I still don't know, you know?
okay, we can absolutely lean into that. So with this letting the whole baby thing go, if that's the path you are to take, I guess where would you like to be by the end of our time together? Just so we know where we're going or we have an idea of where we're trying to get to.
I don't know, not have this longing that something's missing.
Yeah. So is there a way that you would know that you don't have that longing anymore, or is it just something I don't know. I just want to check.
Hmm. I guess there's a sense of contentment.
Okay. And would you be willing to listen to like as you're letting this go, at least whatever might be, you're letting go of like trying to make a decision right now.
Right.
Would you be willing to continue to check in with yourself to see what is for Bonnie? Like as you're reading the book, as you're still taking it day by day.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to check in because I want to come back to something we had worked on a little bit before is like you had said you wanted to be a mother. And we had talked about maybe being a mother to yourself. So I want to see how is that practice going or not going.
I don't know if I've been doing it. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I know you had mentioned like we had talked about maybe doing like trying to have conversations with yourself to try to talk about some of these things that are coming up.
Yeah, I
And
think I did that once.
okay. Anything show up in just that one time.
just a sense of empathy, I guess, for myself.
Okay. So then what might that do for you if you did it a little bit more? If you created just a little bit of empathy for yourself that one time, what could that do for you if you did that again or a few more times?
Good. I'm sorry. I'm so tired, Jenny. I am like so fucking tired. I drank
Mm.
a smoothie for lunch thinking I'll get all my nutrients that way. I don't, so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Did you need to get something while we're on to help with the tiredness that's here or no?
No, I might close all the windows and put the air on, but I can wait to do that.
Okay. Okay. So we'll come back to where you wanted to kind of focus today of letting go of the whole baby thing and this decision that you've been standing under that's
Mhm.
been kind of weighing you down for the last few weeks.
It's still not the way I want it to go down. I mean, I want my partner to be on board, and he's not.
Right. And are you finally believing that he's just not, that's not where he's at and that's not what he desires?
I've never met someone that was so fucking adamant about something,
Yeah.
he impregnated some dumbass 3 times, no big deal, but he won't give me a baby.
Yeah.
But he keeps falling on he's too old. He doesn't want to spend the rest of his life raising another kid.
Right. But would you say you've been a little bit adamant about what it is you want, which is maybe having a kid? And maybe it's not anymore, but maybe having a kid?
Yeah.
So what if you guys are both you're both speaking your truth and you're just in different pages of this book? You're saying one thing, he's saying another.
Hmm.
So I guess what has to happen for you to believe that he's telling you what he wants for going forward in this life?
Yeah, I mean, I just have to respect that.
Yeah, but tell I'm getting a sense, and if I'm wrong, please tell me that there's still some like sadness. There's still something here, some frustration, the fact that he's not willing to even consider it.
Correct.
So then if that's still there, I'm wondering if you are willing to be with that. I don't know how it's showing up. Are you frustrated at the situation now? Are you also sad? Where are you at it with it now?
The emotions are so intense and so heavy, and so I don't want to sit in them. That's why the whole idea of letting it go sounds like a good idea, because I cannot sit in those emotions. I don't want to.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to. But I don't know if I need to fucking grieve or what, like.
Would you be willing to see your emotions as here to support you, even though they feel overwhelming? And if you're not, that's okay. There's not a wrong answer, Bonnie, ever.
I'm having a hard time differentiating thoughts and emotions. My thoughts of having a baby and my emotions. I don't know which one.
Uh, so can we go through a little practice then? Because it's like the differentiation is hard right now between the thoughts and the emotions. Is that true?
Mhm.
Okay, so when you have thoughts about the baby, the questions, all the things, Ed won't fucking have a baby, all the things, what do you notice in your body? If you could name that experience, what do you notice? How does that show up?
Anxiety, lack,
Anxiety.
yeah.
So constriction is what I'm hearing. So I might put some words around it. And if it doesn't resonate, tell me. So could it be like your thoughts are like pressing down on you, like taking the life out of you, anxiety, constriction, not being able to breathe. Is that true?
I guess.
Okay. And I just invite you to pay attention to when your thoughts are coming on you, when you notice your thoughts, is it causing more anxiety, more constriction in your body? And I ask that because then that's information to tell you that you might be in your head. Versus, so when you're ready, let me know.
I don't know. When I think of a baby, I think it should happen. It should fucking happen. That's what I think. So
Okay. Says who?
it says my body, my
Says your body. And how does it feel as you're standing in the should that this should happen?
I don't know. I don't know, Jenny. Up to a lot of questions, and I'm having a hard time answering them.
Okay, let's come back. Let's just pause for a moment. You're hot, you're tired right now. It
Want
feels
to
like,
let it go instead of analyze it so much, because it's
yep,
not going in the way that I want.
I know. Yeah. So are you willing to even let that go of it's not happening in the way that you want? And those are
See, I
all,
don't want to cry about this. I don't want to think about this anymore.
I know. And Bonnie, what if the tears that are here now, that all of this is here for you? Like, what if this is a messenger right now? What if the sadness is here because it's wanting you to remember that you matter and what you desire matters? So could we do the muse method for even just 30 seconds and just be with the sadness that's here to remember that you matter?
Okay.
So let's go ahead. No questions. Let's just close our eyes. We don't have to ask any questions. We're just going to close our eyes. We're going to follow our breath. We're going to bring our hands to anywhere that body, where your body is feeling like this desire for the tears that are here for, I just don't want to feel the shit anymore. Like wherever that might be, if you could bring your hands to that space, bring them, or if there's nowhere, bring them to where you feel called. And now just connect and let your breath help you to expand into what is here without making it wrong, without judging it, without saying, I just want to fucking move on and just get past this. I'm just going to be here now and be with what's here. So that's all we're doing is just being here now and connecting and expanding into more body and just see what might arise, if anything at all. So let's go ahead and breathe and connect and expand. And just take another 2 breaths here, body, being with it all. When you're ready, you can come back. How was that? Just even 30 seconds of connection.
Oh, it was fine.
Okay, it was fine. So I heard you say you want to let go of all of these things. And as soon as you said that, the emotion started to come up. And I know it sounded like thoughts did too.
Uh-huh.
So maybe we could do a little experiment if you're open to trying something out to see. We can do a little experiment using some objects if you have them.
Okay.
So I'm going to invite you to find, mm, okay, yeah, I think two. So find two objects. Doesn't matter what they are. You pick whatever you want to pick on your desk. It's something that you could put in your hand, ideally.
Okay.
Okay, so you got two objects there.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got? If you don't mind sharing.
It's plaque that says, "He who promised is faithful," Hebrews 10:23,
Okay.
and then a coaster with a flamingo on it.
Okay. So we have these two square objects. I think that's interesting how you pick two squares.
Okay.
Uh, it's just information. I don't, nothing's ever good or bad. It's just interesting. So which one of those, and if you want to pick a different object after I say this, please feel free. Which one of those could represent you letting go of the baby?
Well, I don't know about he who promises faithful because I keep praying for a baby and nothing's happening. So God has his own plan for me. I guess the flamingo one.
Okay. So the flamingo one could represent letting go of the baby, even though this is something you keep praying for and asking for. This is
Mhm.
something you feel like this is what you need right now to let go. And then the other object is going to represent you mothering yourself,
Okay.
you being content.
Okay.
So does that object still fit, or did you want to grab something else with the faithful? That one's okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So is there either one or that you're called to hold first, the one of mothering yourself and having that sense of contentment, and then the other one with the longing of letting go of the whole baby thing? Is there either one you want to hold first in your hand?
I guess the mothering myself.
Okay. So go ahead and yeah, put that in your hand. I can't see you, so I can't tell if you're holding it. Yeah, that's perfect.
Holding
Um,
it.
so what do you notice as you're holding this object that represents you mothering yourself and being content?
That all is well, all is okay.
Okay, all is well. If you could describe it, how would you describe it?
Describe what?
The object in your hand, that little tile.
Well, it says he who promised is faithful.
But how would you describe that object? Like the square, like it's square, it's white, it's I don't know, just describe it.
Yeah, it's square and it's stone.
Okay. Stone.
Mm,
Can't change it. Stone. It's heavy. Or it might not be heavy. Is it light? Is it heavy?
kind of heavy.
Kind of heavy. Okay. Anything else you would describe about it? Or that's it. Okay. What do you notice as you're holding it in your hand? This sense of contentment and mothering yourself, this object that represents that. We know it's not that, but that's what this object represents.
It's heavy.
Okay. Is there something that you would like to do with it instead as you're holding it? Do you want to put it down? Would that feel better?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. What do you notice as you set it down now?
I feel lighter.
Okay. Do you want to move it anywhere on your desk, or do you like to have it kind of right there in front of you?
Just put it back.
Okay. What do you
Mm,
notice as you moved it back? The sense of mothering yourself and contentment.
that it's kind of all around me.
Hmm. It's all around you. Even if it's not in your hand, it's all around you.
Correct.
Okay. That's cool. Is there anything else you want to do with that or leave it there for now?
Just leave it there.
Okay. So how might it be if you hold the other object that represents letting go of the baby, the whole baby thing?
Well, there's a flamingo on it, so it's like kind of fun looking.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. And how would you describe that? Like that coaster, the fun looking coaster with the flamingo on it. How would you describe it? Like, does it have hard edges? Does it?
Yeah, it's got, well, it's a square
Mm.
too, kind of heavy too. So
Hmm. Okay. Can you hold it in just one hand or do you need to hold it with two hands? I'm curious.
I can hold it with one hand.
Okay. Do you want to switch hands? Do you want to see how it might be to put it in the other hand or hold it with both and just see what you might notice as this is the object that represents you letting go of the whole baby thing.
Hmm.
Anything you notice as you're holding it in one hand, both hands, the other hand, anything show up or not really?
I don't know. It's easier to hold it with both hands.
Oh, it is easier to hold it with both hands. Okay. So as you're holding it with both hands, is there anything that might be supportive for you as this is an object that's representing you letting go of the baby?
Are you asking me a question?
Well, I'm wondering, would you like to keep holding it in both hands as this object's representing you letting go of the baby, or do you want to set it down? And you can set it behind you, Bonnie. You don't have to even put
Better
it on your.
set it down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that far enough away, or do you want it to be out of view as you're letting go of this object, this representation of this baby?
No, this is fine.
Okay. What do you notice with it there in front of you now that you're not holding it?
I don't know.
It seemed like you were like almost like fixated on it for that moment. Like you're like, I don't want to let it go almost. And I don't know if that's true.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So I wonder if you could hold both of the things, hold the object that's representing letting go of the whole baby thing, and the other object that represents you mothering yourself and being content and
Mm,
holding both and just seeing what happens.
okay.
What's your intuition? Like, what's your first instinct as you're holding both of these things? The mothering yourself and content and letting go of the baby.
I don't want to let go of the baby.
Okay. And did you just set that down?
Yeah, I did.
Interesting.
Why? What does that mean?
Well, it's you said you don't want to let go of the baby, but at the first inclination, you kind of set it down. So I'm wondering if you're setting it down.
Letting it go versus not letting it go.
Right. It is letting it go. But are you letting it go because you feel like you have to let it go and you don't actually want to let it go?
Maybe.
So how might it be if you set that object down in front of you? If you just turn your back to it right now and just see if you we're letting it go, you're letting the baby go, the idea of having a baby go, and you just turn your back to it. See if you notice anything in your body. And you could turn your back to me because I know I'm on screen and I'm facing the direction of that object. Or
Put it outside of my view.
okay. Is that better or worse when you put it out of your view?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for. I really don't know.
You're not looking for anything anything. I'm trying to, it's a practice of not being so attached to what is actually you're actually walking through so that you can make it outside of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because when we're talking about it, there's a lot of attachment around it right now
Right.
because it's something you desire. And there's also a sense of you want to let it go.
Right.
You're kind of holding both things. So it's almost like there's this inner, like, I don't know if it's like a battle, but this inner kind of thing happening, turmoil happening, because it's like, I want a baby and I need to let this go because my partner is not on board and I'm really pissed that he's not on board.
It's just causing me so much distress that it was suggested to let it go.
Yeah. What if what if the distress is here because it's wanting you to have attention to this area right now?
Well, that means I have to go get a fucking sperm donor and raise a child all by myself, and that's a lot of work.
And maybe that's not what you actually do want then. It is a lot of work. So it sounds like letting it go might be what you desire as well, but also there's something else here. Is that true? Like that you want that you still want this.
I guess so.
So Bonnie, tell me where I'm wrong, but this has been something you've been desiring and you've put off, you've put off, you've put off because of other people for a very long time.
Right.
And it's still, it sounds like it's still very loud in you to at least try. But there's also this sense of if I make this decision, I'm going to like ruin my whole life as far as what you have known.
Right.
So it feels too big right now.
Right.
So what if right now, I'm not going to agree with Kat. I'm going to say, what if right now you physically you're going to let it go so that you can have clarity on what you desire.
Okay.
So I wonder if it would be supportive and you don't have to do anything. Everything is you get to choose. If you put that object that represents letting the whole baby thing go like outside of the room underneath you somewhere where you I know you can't see it right now, but would that be supportive so that you can actually have some clarity here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You mean to
Good.
get rid of the object that signifies letting it go?
Yeah, let's try moving it out of the room or
I've
moving
got
it.
5 of these coasters all around my house.
Oh, well, is it all is there five of them in this room or just the one?
I can see another one in my view. They're all in the same room.
Okay. Okay, so then it's still, oh my. That's interesting. That's the object that you chose and it's all over.
I could go around and get rid of the coasters.
It's just an object. Like, I mean, it's going to return right back to the coaster right after we're done with this experiment. It's just an experiment. It's more of the idea, but it's interesting that that's the object you chose. This coaster that happens to be everywhere around you. And you're like, but I want to let this go. But yet the object you chose was something that's always there, kind of pointing at you.
Yeah.
And it's just information because you didn't know what we were doing, Bonnie. I gave you invitations of choose an object for this, choose an object for this, and that's what you chose. So what if you know something more than your head knows right now? And the fact that you chose that coaster was just your way of your body's telling you something. Because as
Could,
soon as you chose it, you said that it was fun looking. I was like, oh, the first thing you said was it's fun looking. And this is an object that is representing you letting go of this whole baby thing.
so is letting it go look like fun? Is that what you're saying?
You tell me, could it look like fun and letting it go as opposed to being in all of these emotions and this hardness that's here?
instead of this serious stuff. Yeah.
Right. And what if like that's because the other object you took was like the faithful. What if that's here for you to just say, let it go for right now, and God's gonna do what he's gonna do with this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna let this go, it's important when we are creating space and we're getting rid of something to get clear on what we want to fill that space with. So if you're letting go of this whole baby thing that's taken up a lot of bandwidth, a lot of energy, a lot of emotions, a lot of everything, what are you going to fill that with?
Mm, maybe more physical exercise, like a walk or something.
Okay. Is that something you want to do more physical exercise?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would be supportive of your goals of where you want to go and everything like other things too, maybe help with confidence and the other pieces too. Okay. So you said the physical exercise. I'm wondering if it would also be supportive when you're doing the physical exercise to be meeting yourself and mothering yourself to provide more contentment.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're letting go of the whole baby thing, but what you're also keeping is the fact that you're mothering yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not negating the fact that you said at one point you want to be a mother, and you are in just a different way than you had thought.
Mm-hmm.
So how might you mother yourself well? Like what would you say, or what would you want to meet yourself as you're letting this whole thing go?
I know this is a hard decision or a hard spot to be in. Um, you are enough. You're okay.
Mhm.
Love you.
Mhm.
The whole you are enough thing.
Yeah, you are enough.
Mhm.
So would you be willing to start to either say it out loud or with just inside saying that you're making a hard decision and I see you. You are enough.
Mhm.
And mothering yourself right now is more than enough.
Mhm.
And if you feel called, even doing the muse method and expanding into that concept of, I am a mother, I'm mothering myself,
Mhm. Mhm.
and connecting with that place that desires to be a mother, and saying, yes, I see you, and I'm mothering myself.
Mhm.
And what if you just practice that even for the next few days, the next week before we meet again?
Okay.
Just see what you notice, Bonnie. And if you don't remember, that's okay. And you just get out for your walk and that's what you do. And that's meeting yourself. That's awesome.
Okay.
But notice what happens when you start to expand into that idea of, I'm connecting with the mother that I am. And I'm expanding into that mother more and more.
Right. Okay.
And I say that because the more you can keep expanding into that, this whole thing about the baby is going to either let go or it's going to get louder. I don't know. And I don't want to hold on to any answer of what's going to happen. But you're filling up more space of Bonnie with the mother that you already are.
Okay.
And so by default, it's either going to get louder or it's going to fade away because you're being filled with more of that already.
Okay.
Does that resonate with you for practicing playing with this week?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Is there
Feel like
anything?
he's,
Oh, oh yeah, I could tell. I was like, are you gonna sneeze or something?
yeah.
So is there anything that would help support you in making that happen to remember to do it?
No, I would just want to stay more conscious of that whole idea of mothering myself,
Okay.
taking it easy on myself, being present for myself.
Yeah. Wow. So what is there anything you need to remember to take it easy on yourself, to be more kind and gentle to yourself? Do you need post-it notes around the house? Do you need like reminders going off on your phone?
I could do another alarm on my phone, or maybe a post-it note,
Okay.
maybe some post-it notes
Awesome. Where might you put the post-it notes to remember
in my
to
bathroom, I guess. But what would you recommend it say?
well, I'm curious, what would you want to read to help you to remember?
I like that whole be kind and gentle with yourself.
Okay.
You are enough. Um, or just the word mothering.
Awesome. So would you be willing to write those down on post-it notes? You could do all of them. Kind and gentle with yourself, mothering, you are enough, and put them all and
Right.
maybe put them in other places.
Okay. I have to pee really bad, Jenny.
Okay.
I think we're almost out of time though, so
We are. Did you want to pee or do you want to finish close out our session real quick?
or give me like 30 seconds.
Okay, go pee, and then we'll close up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad you did it. You listened to your body. Good job. Okay, so is there anywhere else besides the bathroom you'd want to put these post-it notes to remind you?
I could put them on my morning, like I read like Jesus Calling in the morning. I could put one on my Jesus Calling.
Okay, awesome. Is there anywhere else that you'd like you find yourself in the thoughts or it just kind of brings it up? Is there anywhere else in the house that you need to put it?
On my desk upstairs.
Okay, so on your desk. Okay. So when do you plan to put these post-it notes out?
I could do it in the next day or two.
Okay. Is there anything you need to keep you accountable to doing that? Do you want to
I could text you and I could be like, oh, I put up some sticky notes.
Okay, yeah. I would absolutely so that I can help support you in making this happen. Because I can't make you do anything. You know that. You
Yeah,
get to choose. So if by texting me, would that help support you so that you make it happen for yourself?
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, text me when you once you do it. You can send me a picture if you want or whatever. Just text me. I put them up.
Okay,
And then when you see those, would you be willing to maybe take even 10 seconds to just do the muse method and expand into that?
okay,
Just as a reminder of like, yep, that's right. And then let's just see what shows up between now and then.
okay,
Okay. So
okay.
what are you walking away with from our time together today? And then we'll get something scheduled.
Just re-emphasizing the mothering myself. Um, and letting letting it go. The baby decision can be fun. It can be fun just to let it go. I can
Yeah.
and to maybe fill that space with maybe more physical exercise or clearing or even clearing out my physical space a little more.
Yeah. Creating more space for Bonnie.
Right.
Okay. Awesome. So clearing space in the house or physical exercise.
Yeah.
And then just notice and if if nothing happens, awesome. And if something happens, awesome. We're just noticing so that we can see what's changing now. Now that
Okay.
you're setting the decision down and you're just focused on you.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome. And then did you want to meet next Monday or do you want to have, I want to check in with you to see what would be a good for you?
Yeah, next Monday is fine.
Okay. Same time, 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I've got you down for Monday, the 10th. And then I'll see you then at 3.
Okay. Thanks, Jenny. Take care.
Welcome. And hey, just so you know, I have a new moon circle online, but it's on Wednesday if you want to join us. It's at 7
Oh, yeah, I
p.m.
see that. I usually do my aqua yoga class at that time, though. But
Awesome. Enjoy your aqua yoga class. Well, have a good rest of your week. And please message me, like text me once you get your post-it notes up so that I can celebrate you for taking the action. And then if anything else shows up between now and our next session, please reach out.
Okay, cool. We'll do.
All right. Take care, Bonnie.
Bye.
Bye.